Kalimera, friends. So today we're going to talk about prayer, why we pray, and why we worship. Check it out. So prayer in Hellenism is a little different than what most people would consider traditional prayer. It's more of an honor and reverence kind of thing, that when we pray, that we don't really, it's not asking the gods for anything, but thanking them for what they have already provided and what we know that they will give and provide in the future. You look in the prayers of the Orphic hymns, the Homeric hymns, a lot of the times you'll see that it's not, I need this in my life, but it's a thank you for giving this and letting this be in my life. So the outlook of prayer is a little different. And it is also a prayer of thankfulness and acknowledgement of who they are and what they do. So here is the Orphic hymn to Apollon, and I'll just read that and we'll look at how they pray to Apollo and see how they put it. So this is the Orphic hymn to Apollo. It says, "Come, blessed healer, slayer of Tityos, the shining one of Parnassus, Memphian, renowned, exclaiming with cries of joy, bestower of bliss, and bearing a golden lyre." So they acknowledge that he's the bestower of bliss, not asking for bliss, but knowing that he is the one that gives that to us. So, bearing a golden lyre, generative, Pythian, Titan, slayer of the Python, Delphic, oracular one, wild, radiant divinity, lovely one and glorious son. Leader of the Maasai, cultivator of joy, whose arrows achieve their aim, mighty archer. You who achieve from afar, prophet and holy one, king of Delios, all-seeing eye, bring in the light which shines on mortals, golden-haired, making clear oracular, that's a big one, utterances. Hear me with gracious soul as I pray on behalf of mankind. You gaze upon the boundless ether, and upon the blessed earth you look from above through the dark of night, in the restful shadow of a night filled with stars. And you clearly see the root below, and you arrange and support the boundaries of all, for the origin and completion are both in your care. The cause of blooming of all things, with your resident lyre you command the axis of the heavens, placing all in harmony, by which indeed you advance to the lowest pitch. Elsewhere to the highest, at times playing in the Dorian mode, tempering all the poles you keep the tribes of living creatures distinct. You have mingled harmony into the share of all mortals, given each an equal measure of winter and summer, the highest three strings in the winter and the lowest in the summer. The Dorian mode produces the lovely and blooming spring. Thereupon the mortals celebrate and call you Lord, and Pan, the two-horned god who sends the whistling winds, wherefore you form and bear the seal of the entire cosmos. Hear, happy one, the supplicants' voices of the initiates, and save them. So you see that the prayer is not asking for anything. It's just affirming and rejoicing in who Apollo is. And that is a form of how we pray. And that is the Orphic hymn to Apollo. And when you add a prayer to your own prayer to the ritual, it's the same thing. You thank him. Like for Apollo, I usually say, I thank you for the music that's in our life, that it heals us. And I thank you that my family stays healthy. And I thank you for the gifts that you bestow. So you see, it's not asking Apollo for anything. It's thanking him for what he's provided, because we know that he will provide again in the future. So that's a little different way of prayer, that we don't go to Apollo asking for a prayer request, we'll say, you thank the gods for what they have done in our lives, having faith that they will do it again. So in Hellenism, prayer and worship, as you can tell, go kind of hand in hand. That prayer is another form of worship. And why do we worship? For the same reason we pray, to thank them for the gifts that are in our lives, for the gift of life first and foremost, and for thanking them for who they are, what they provide, and what they are in our lives. So that goes with prayer and worship, that kind of are all in one and the same. So there you go, guys. So that's just a little bit about prayer and worship. So we pray and worship to thank them for who they are and what they have done for our lives, for the gift of life, and everything we see and everything that we have is from the gods, and it's a heart of thankfulness. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys like this video, and I hope that it helped you understand a little more of the view of prayer and Hellenism. That's not asking for something, but thanking them for what we've had and what we know and have faith that we will have in the future thanks to them. Anyway, guys, I'm glad you liked this video. Hope you did, and I'll talk to you next time.